Okay, everyone, thank you for joining us today. And we're going to have some happy talk with happiness specialist Rebecca Norrington.
Roberta. Roberta. Okay, I'll change my name to Roberta if that makes you happy.
Rebecca Norrington. So I'm Robert Sharp. I host the Bringing Inspiration to Earth show on Blog Talk Radio. And Rebecca Norrington hosts the Reality Spirituality show on Blog Talk Radio. You can find out more about Rebecca by visiting her website, www.rebeccanorrington.com. And let's see here. So anyway, hi, Rebecca.
Well, hi, Robert. No, hi, Robert. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. What a great morning. I'm in California, and it's a little after 7 a.m. I'm an early riser, so this is going to work perfectly with this whole flow. I jotted down a few notes that I thought were really important as far as happiness goes, and for me, it's interesting because happiness has been my passion. It has been my, this is going to sound really crazy, but it is my main purpose to share with other people what I've learned about what is the truth about happiness and what adds to happiness, what subtracts from happiness, blah, blah, blah. But let's start by, like this is my show, let's start by defining what happiness is. What is happiness to you, Robert Sharp? What is the definition of happiness?
Talking to people like you.
Oh.
How's that for a start? Truly, just happiness is really a state of mind. I mean, it's joyful, excited, free from angst and worry and all of that kind of stuff. And and then there's happiness and there's joy and there's all kinds of variations of happiness. But so for you, how about you? What is it to you?
Oh, well, thank you for asking. For me, it's interesting because I used to think that happiness had a link to what I did or what I achieved or where I lived or how I looked or how much weight or how many pounds I was. And it really changed all that for me because I found that none of those things, absolutely none of those things, had any kind of alignment or link to happiness, real happiness. And when I say happiness, I'm talking about a foundational feeling, a lasting way of being, like you said, a state of mind. And so my own definition is happiness defined is to be at peace and to be content with whatever is happening in my life and to be at peace and to be content with whatever is not happening.
Wow. Now that's a challenge, to be at peace with what is not happening. So for you as a happiness specialist, do you ever have unhappy times?
Well, let me say this. It's that when I just defined that. So listen, Life is about challenges up and down. Thank you so much, A.L. Canistararo, for a good definition. Thank you. Thank you for the comment. But for me, of course, did I tell you what happened to me on February the 18th of 2 weeks ago? Did I tell you what happened to me, Robert?
Was that getting hit by a car?
Got hit by a car. So happiness specialist gets hit by a car. And yes, of course, there's things that happen in life. And in fact, that's what life is. Ups and downs, challenges, whatever. Life is never going, for me, life is never going to be an even keel and, oh, we, happy. But what did happen during that time, which is because of the practice that I know, that I trust everything happens for a good reason. Everything is in order. There are no mistakes. All of that is my foundation. And so when I got hit by a car, a few minutes later, after I figured out, I was injured hand and knee and hip slightly. I mean, I could still walk, I could still talk, but what I could do a couple hours later is start laughing about it. I actually made a video. It's about 4-minute video. I'll post it one of these days when I can figure out how to post a 4-minute video on Facebook. But it was my mindset and making a joke and being able to be light about it. And it's not, life is not that serious. There's nothing in my opinion that there is such a seriousness that's going to take me out of the state, like you said, state of mind of being at peace and being content. That's my choice. Now, I'm challenged, but I still have that foundation of peace and contentment. It takes a lot of trust. It takes a lot of surrendering. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of years. And it takes a lot of wanting and being committed to be happy.
Yeah. You used the word there, choice. And that was one of the things that, there was one particular period that I had just so much stuff going on, and found that, unhappiness and frustration were kind of paramount. And I got to the point where I just put a post-it on on one door that I see every morning, and it just says, "Remember to be happy." And I thought, and it was, it really stressed the idea that, we do have a choice to be happy or not be.
Well, let me add to that, because that's really important. Everything is a choice, and we have control over a few things. We have control over our behavior. We have control over our emotions. We have control over our words. We have control over our personal vibration. We have control over our attitude. However, we don't have control over what happens. But you were talking, and what really struck me is these labels, the labels, happy, not happy, all of these things are labels. And with every label requires a judgment. So when I was in those states, just like you described, okay, a little frustrated, a little anxious, I said, why am I labeling it something bad or something wrong? Why can't I label it? Why do I have to label it at all? So what I do now, what I practice now, it's just the experience. It's just I'm having an experience without a judgment about the experience.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I understand what you're saying, but I do wonder. But I didn't say but. Notice I saw off my butts. No buts about it. The one thing is, with the label, it's, even though it may have been labeled frustration, anxious, that kind of thing, doesn't necessarily mean that I'm putting a judgment on it. It's just simply a word to explain and express the internal feeling that I'm experiencing. And I'm not to say, now frustration isn't a good thing. I mean, it can be very frustrating. But
hold on, I gotta write this down. Now, see, okay, now we're really getting to the nitty gritty. You said it's a word without a judgment, but it's a word that describes how you're feeling. Okay.
Right. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And what I want to add to that is, how do you know that word frustration describes how you're feeling? It's something that you learned. Okay, I'm going through this feeling, and now right. I'm labeling it frustration. See, this programming, this programming of what we're feeling and the labels on it is in fact, why wasn't it labeled just excitement or something else? In other words, no labels of anything, which means no judgment. So it's a work in progress. It's a practice. So yeah, I'm feeling it, but I'm not going to put a label on it.
Right. And I understand that, and it's, and yes, true, that is the conditioning of the learned definition of that experience, association. But in order to work with that expression, that feeling, it seems to me that not to identify what it is ignoring it.
Okay. So let's go even deeper then. I get it. Yeah. Excuse me. I'm having a coughing. Hold on a second.
I didn't mean to throw you there.
No. Not at all. Not at all.
I know.
I actually canceled my exercise class last night and tomorrow because of my throat, but that has nothing to do with being on this show because this is really, really important. Okay, so okay, hold on a second. Okay, so here we go. Yes, acknowledge this if you want to label it frustration, acknowledge all of it, but
right.
Where is your personal vibration? Where is your how are you vibing? Are you still aligned? Are you still connected? Are you still chill? Are you still cool with all of that? See, I can be frustrated but still have a high personal. No, that's not true. For me, it's really about your personal vibration and where that is.
Mm-hmm. Right. And see, the point that I kind of want to examine is, that if I have a sense of frustration, I'm feeling frustration that maybe, for example, something is not happening the way that I think that it should happen.
You mean you have an expectation? Oh, okay. Go ahead. Expectation. Go ahead.
That the important thing is that it is my body, through its response, this physical response that I have, is telling me to look at something more closely.
Okay, hold on a second, because your microphone is garbling.
Oh, sorry. Okay, how's that? Still all right?
It's a little garbling. What about you people in the live chat? Is the microphone on good for Robert? Because I hear a little gargling. But if anybody else doesn't hear it, that's okay. Oh, it's garbled. Yeah.
Okay. You know what? That means that I'm probably going to have to refresh. So,
okay.
Everyone, hang on. We'll be right back.
I'll wait. Hi, everybody. He's gone, so let's talk about him. No, I'm just kidding. I'm so glad that you're all here. Yay. This is my first official blab. I did a test blab with Robert a couple of days ago, so this is my first official. I'm really loving the blab. Loving it.
Okay, now how's this? Is this better?
It sounds really good.
Oh,
yes, it's perfect. Great. Okay, so you're about to make a really good point. I'm ready. Go.
Right. Well, no, it was just again, my thought is that the physical experience, be it frustration, anger, whatever, is really telling me to look at a situation more closely. What is the reason my body is reacting in this manner?
Yes, a clue. You're talking about a clue. Yes. So can you be a little bit more specific for the audience as opposed to share exactly what was frustrating you so much? And let's really dig deep.
No, I don't get frustrated. No, let me just take an example. Let me take an example because it plays into exactly what you were saying earlier. Let's say that I have a goal.
Not let's say, just be specific. Well, you have a goal, go.
Okay. We'll go ahead and do it. I have a goal. I want something to occur that has not occurred or unfolded as I expect it to. And again, see, the thing here is that and the reason I don't really get frustrated often anymore, because I recognize that it's me putting an expectation on an outcome. But my point is that if I were to experience frustration, I basically now examine what is the reason for that. And many times it is I'm expecting something that is not happening. So then I recognize that I need to dump that expectation.
Oh, yes. Is it my turn? Oh, okay.
Uh,
Yes, in fact, one of my favorite chapters, articles that I have in my second book that I'm writing now, Program for Unhappiness, is how to eliminate all disappointment and all heartbreak in your life forever and forever. And you'll never be disappointed. You'll never have your heart broken ever again. And you touched on it, and that is having expectations. All expectations will take away from that peace and contentment, will subtract from your happiness. I mean, eliminate all expectations. And you said it too, all expectations and the attachments to attachments, expectations, eliminate all of that. Can you live a life without having expectations? Some may say yes. I mean, some may say no. I say yes. I've eliminated all expectations. Listen, even this blab that was scheduled, until I'm talking to you live, I don't know if we're going to have a blab, if it's going to work, if it's going to be technical, maybe if my hair isn't, maybe my hair is too curly or too straight, and I don't want to blab this morning. But no expectations to anything, not even the next moment. So when I practice that, I'm able to never get frustrated over that expectations or wanting something to happen. And let me throw this out because this is a real zinger. And I'm talking about me. Ugh, Robert, come on. I used to want a lot of things to happen, and I wanted these things to happen like yesterday.
right.
And then
Mm-hmm.
I got to this realization, which is the truth, that sorry, it's not my plan. I am a passenger on this journey. Because if the universe wants something to happen, and if the universe wants me to have a certain thing or experience a certain experience, then you better believe that I'm going to have that experience. So
Right.
if I really had to let go of thinking that I have anything to do with what happens or with what outcome that is happening. This is a journey that the universe has planned. Listen, and I don't like the way they plan it. I'm telling you, sometimes I don't like it, but I've accepted it and surrendered. Okay, thank you, universe. You're driving. Here I am, stuck in your plan. I have a choice to be either content, peaceful, happy, or frustrated, resisting. I'm not using your example, but I'm just saying. So it's really about giving up. Giving up. Okay, I surrender. Give up. That's it.
Right. And excuse me, and I agree when it comes to expectation and disappointment. Now, how and why would you set goals if you don't expect a particular outcome?
I don't set goals. I used to. Oh no,
No.
I don't have any more goals. Okay, these are my goals. I'll tell you what my goals are. Oh, does that mean somebody wants to chat? Talk? I see somebody flashing. Does that mean
They
somebody wants to
they
open the seat, or they just join in?
they just like you.
Yay.
They just like
Oh, good.
you.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Define goals. Let me tell you what my goals are.
Okay.
I do not have any man-made goals. I know the difference between man-made goals. We all know the difference. I don't need to explain it, but these are my goals. Ready? My goals are to be the example of the universe, be a human example of the universe. What does that mean? That means someone who is accepting, someone who doesn't judge, someone who doesn't blame, someone who is open, someone who looks at the world and sees that everything is in perfect order. My goal is to be more in tuned, is to have a vibration that remains steady and open and free and airy. My goal is to be at peace with my life and to be at peace with myself and to be at peace with others. Those are my goals. But a goal to achieve, accomplish, no, I've given that up. No, thank you. And the only reason why, Robert, because it's it's very frustrating. Because let me say this: if I have a goal to be a New York Times bestseller author, which I did a few years ago,
Right.
I had that
Right.
goal. But guess what? If the universe didn't have that goal with me, If they didn't
Mm-hmm.
have that goal with me, then guess what? I'm I'm stuck. So my goal is to have the same goals and the same desires as the universe has for me. Whatever that is, I have no idea what it is. It's actually a life of living. It's a life of being satisfied with uncertainty, being satisfied,
Okay.
having a vibration of satisfaction with uncertainty. Okay, be the best, learn from every pro, be present. Yes, thank you. What about success in your happiness business? Success, huh? That's a really good question because let me tell you this. I used to be concerned or interested in numbers. And I have a radio show every Sunday morning, Blog Talk Radio, and it's reality, spirituality. And I used to look at the numbers. How many people are listening to my radio show? Oh gosh, there's only 30 people, there's only 120 people, there's only 10 people. And I was really frustrated with the number thing. Now that number thing is man-made, and that number thing is all ego. And so finally I got this message because the universe talks to me. Sometimes I listen, most of the times I listen. Otherwise, I'm
Mm-hmm.
going to be in a big world of hurt. And the universe told me, they said, Rebecca, we're listening to you. Isn't that enough? And so finally, I just let go. I teach a class, The Importance of Happiness. Sometimes it's usually a 10-week, 11-week class. Sometimes there's 15 people registered. Guess how many people are in my class this session? Three people.
Wow.
Yeah. And so it
Okay.
varies. It varies. So it's never about letting go.
Right.
It's never about the numbers. It's never about this man-made thing. And it's really about 3 people are supposed to be in the class. 20 people are supposed to be.
Right.
So anyway, that's my life.
Okay. And I had the same thing with numbers on the radio show too, until a couple people responded on a low listener number, but they really made a difference in their life. So to me, it was the quality versus quantity. Now, question though about man-made goals, since you are just like living in the present, don't have the man-made goals. Why book 2? I mean,
Why what? Book 2? Oh, well,
book 2.
let me tell you about book 2 because I have a lot of things to say. I have things to say, things to share. However, there's no deadline for book 2. I write book 2 when I'm inspired to write it. I'm like, oh, gotta write book 2. I have an idea, but let me tell you, this book 2 is so scattered and so many chapters going out there. It's not organized yet, but that's another thing. When I'm inspired to do something, I'm on it. But if I'm not inspired, I'm not writing if I'm not feeling that inspiration. So I only do what I'm inspired to do in the moment. I don't have a time limit on it. I say book 2, if it might not even come out. But there you go.
Okay. And the thing is, I just, with that is, it's like, you said you have a message to get out, and I agree. We talk often, so, and I know that you've got a message, and you're very passionate about that. And the ones
I am passionate.
I know. That's what I love about you. The thing is, though, in this particular, I mean, the idea of a book 2 is to get your message out. I mean, that is what you want to do. To me, I mean, you can say that it's not a goal, but to me, it's that's the desired outcome you want, is be able to get your message out, whatever time frame you do, however it does, whether it does or not. Again, like you say, is up to your inspiration and how you follow through on that inspiration.
My goal for the second book, honestly, is to document what I have in my head. Get the message out is really not in my head. I understand what you're saying, but it's to document it. Nobody might even read it, but it is to document what I have.
Oh,
I'm just saying.
You've got. I will.
Well,
No.
Yeah, but
No, I
yeah,
know.
but see, that's not in my, well, I got get them. Yeah, but see, that's not my mindset is to document all this other crap that the universe has been teaching me. You want to hear one of the other, like this is a huge one. This is really big. Are you a sports fan?
Just football a little bit, but that's about it. Not generally.
Yeah, I'm a really big football fan, professional football fan. And so yes, you're right. If you put out good into the universe, it'll affect someone in some time. I believe that's, yes, you're absolutely right. However, that's the universe's job to put it out, the universe's job to affect people. My job is just to express, express, express. So I love professional football, and I watched the games, and I always had a team that I wanted to win more than the other team. And so what that caused, talk about
Hmm.
frustration, talk about angst and ooh, it was always I wanted one to win and one to lose. And so what that was is I always had a preference. And what I've discovered
Hmm.
is all preferences and attachments to a preference subtracts from my peace, my contentment, and my happiness. And so now it really is crazy. I mean, how can I watch football and not want one team to win? But
Yeah.
but see, listen, which do I value more? A team winning or my happiness? So I have what I do now, I practice watching for the enjoyment of the sport, for there's a lot of lessons in professional football, that just the camaraderie, the team, there's the skill. And so I watch it for that. Now I'm still practicing. This was the first season. 2015 was the first season I've been practicing, but to not have a preference about who wins and who loses is a big an undertaking. But that's what I've come to now, because preferences always have my happiness here and here and here and here. No, thank you. I got some good news. What's some good news?
Okay.
Yeah, that's just me.
Well, and see and I understand what you're saying. You
But
know, the no, well, to me, and like using the sports example, I mean, to me, there's just the excitement when your team wins, and yes, the disappointment when they don't.
I
Um,
don't want
but
disappointment. I don't want
the,
disappointment. That
well,
vibration doesn't feel
and
good to me.
well, but, and yeah, fine, that's and that's fine. And I just to me, it's just I don't know. It just kind of makes it blah. I mean, it makes it so what? Why? Why? I mean, big deal that these two teams are playing. You know, yeah, it's a good game. That one did good. That one did good. And at the end, so what?
Okay, see, and so what you're doing is you're buying into the program. You're buying into the program of winning and losing, and winning feels good and losing doesn't feel good, and the whole thing. And I totally get it. Listen, I used to watch basketball. I used to be a Boston Celtic fan when Larry Bird was playing. Oh my goodness, I was a Celtic fan. And my husband at the time was a Laker fan. I said at the time. I killed his butt. No, I'm just kidding. I said at the time. And so always Lakers Celtics. And I'm telling you, I would have my day would be ruined if I lost to the Lakers. I lost if they lost to the Lakers. So see, this is the thing. It's for me, and I'm not speaking for anybody else, but for me, I don't want to be influenced by anything outside. I want my vibration to be here, cool, here.
Right.
So attachments, expectations, wanting something to happen, a desire for especially a team. Now, I still, hold on a second. I'm not saying I didn't root
But
for a certain Super Bowl team to win, but okay, go ahead, Robert, go.
I was going to say the key here is you said it ruined your day. So you allowed that loss to affect you beyond the game.
Yes, hell
So I mean,
yes.
so but my point is that you can. I mean, you can, have that momentary disappointment that your team didn't win, but you don't have to carry it on beyond the game. I mean, that's a choice. I mean, so to me, it could be a momentary thing. And see, to me, one of the important parts about happiness is to not let something that maybe is contrary to happiness ruin your day or ruin your week or ruin your life. Put it in its context. It happened. It's done. Move on. Be happy.
Well, you said something. You said right there. You said disappointed for a moment. That's what you said. And
yes, I did.
And quite frankly, I'm not interested in being disappointed in a moment not even a second. And if I can control that, and if I can choose, then in other words, that's the beauty of you, Robert. That's the beauty of all the people on this blabbity blab 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 blab, is that we all are as different as our fingerprints. We are as different as the trees in nature. We're as different as the stars. So what feels good to me might not feel good to anyone else. And so see, I don't like that. And I'm not into being disappointed anymore. I've been disappointed all my life. And no, I don't even want a speck of disappointment.
And that is, I can understand that completely. And
okay, refresh because you're garbled. Refresh, you're garbled. Refresh.
Okay. Let me do that again here.
Yeah.
Hold on, folks.
Hi, everybody. So now that he's gone, let's talk about him again. I like Robert. Isn't he the best host? And am I talking too much? That's impossible. Ask some questions, everybody. You have any questions for me? Anything that's going on? Yes. Any questions? Any questions? Robert's coming back right now. I answered.
Okay.
Yeah, there he is. Perfect.
Great.
Perfect.
Okay. Well, I want to go ahead and touch on one more topic, for this particular blab, and that is unhappiness or unhappy people in your world. How, for people out there, I mean, we can control our reactions to events in our lives, how we react to events in our lives. In your experience, how should someone who has an unhappy person in their life that seems to constantly, try and influence your happiness?
Ooh-wee, hypothetical. Okay. I usually don't do hypotheticals, but I will for you. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So number one, an unhappy person in my life. Let me say something. I used to look at people because Panache Dacey, he had this quote. It was really funny. He said, the most judgmental people in the world are spiritual people. And I thought to myself, wow, he's right. I'm very judgmental. And I used to look at people and say, wow, they're really miserable. Wow, they're really unhappy. Poor them. And I would give them advice or stick my 2 cents in or stick my nose into their business. And what I found that the truth of the matter is these people that I labeled unhappy, if I was doing what they were doing, then I would be unhappy. But whatever they're doing is fine for them. It's fine for them. Right. They're on their own journey. They're doing their own thing. And it's my job to stay out of their business. Number 2 to that question, what do I do? It's really about energy, compatible energy.
Compatibility.
Now, compatible energy, yes. And so there's energies out there that I'm not necessarily compatible with. One of them might be my own mother, but don't tell her.
We know that.
Yeah. But so what do I do? For me, very small doses, but it really is acceptance. When I don't accept someone else, it's really my responsibility to accept, regardless of what they're doing, regardless of what they're showing me, regardless of who they are. Acceptance, because quite frankly, the universe accepts them. Who am I not to accept them? Last
Right.
point. When you go into a dark room, it's pitch black, and you go into the dark room and you turn on the light, the darkness leaves. So it's my responsibility to be that light. There is nobody that can affect my happiness or affect me if I'm that bright.
Mm-hmm. So, to use your example of your mother,
Yeah,
when
go ahead.
so when you're around her and she is just in this negative space and kind of going on and on. I mean, I had that too. I could use that one. Mine's passed, but I mean, there have been times that it was just constant negativity, and so if that's the case, do you ignore what they're saying, or do you try and shift what they're saying, or do you try and just um, maybe help brighten their perspective, like to use your analogy of a bright light?
No, no. I can only be the example. What other people are doing, see, they're on their own journey and they're on their own path.
Right.
My job is to totally, oh my God, this is so difficult, is to totally accept her, if you want to use the word negativity, accept who she is, how
Right.
she sees the world, what she talks about. And the only reason why I cannot accept anybody else, including my own dear mommy mom, the only reason I can't accept her or will not accept her or having problem or I have a problem accepting her is because I'm not accepting myself. So it still comes back to that person in the mirror. It still comes back to me. If I can't accept her, if I'm having a problem with her, there's something going on inside of me. I cannot blame my mother, even though I used to all the time, Robert, and I cannot
Yep.
blame her for how I'm feeling about anything. Now, what I do when I do go and visit, I know
Mm-hmm.
little moments. I can do this little moment and then I can leave. I could do this little moment. It's like
Okay.
little doses. You got to really plan. You got to do. I can accept for maybe if it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I got to get out of there. Go to
Right.
another room. I got to go to the bathroom. I got to go fix my hair. Oh, hold on a second. I got to fix my hair. Yeah. So I've got to find strategies around this woman that I am accepting.
Okay. See, now that was what I was trying to get at. What is that strategy, and kind of removing yourself from the proximity of the person, is one way, and I understand that, because sometimes the most challenging people are family members, or those who are
Sometimes.
significant others, so to me it was just one of those things where, and I agree with you, you know allowing people to be who they are without judgment, and just kind of be who you are, and being bright, and I agree. So removing yourself from the situation when, rather than buying into, or trying to use, or getting engaged.
Yeah, listen. What I've learned, what I'm practicing, is I'm really practicing. This is revolutionary. Zoning out. People can be talking and have this thing, and I've had to learn it from my mom. I can just zone out and go to my own world, and she's blabbity 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 blabbity, and I'm in my own world. So it's another
Yeah.
practice, but it's always the responsibility of the person, not the responsibility of the, and it's not my responsibility to make her change, or, oh, because I used to, hey
Right.
mom, why are
Right.
you watching the news all the time? Such negativity. I need to know what's going on. Well, she loves watching the news. Who the hell am I to say
Right.
don't watch the news or
Right.
try to change her? It's really about
Right.
accepting others. And then when you accept yourself, you'll be able to accept others.
Yeah. So when you zone out, with your mom, does she feel that like you're just not paying attention, you don't care. I mean, why zone out? I mean, or have you zoned out and come back, and like when you want a response?
Listen, this is the beauty of my mother. You ready for this? Please, she's not on the internet. Please.
Right.
My mother can yakety yak, talk, talk, talk. I can be zoning out. And sometimes, because I'm not in her presence, she lives in another state. So I visit, but I can zone out. She doesn't even realize I'm zoned out. Number one. Number two, I've had her on the phone. Sometimes I mute her, mute, and then sometimes yeah, I do. Listen, it's about my happiness and my peace, damn it. I mute her and then I do a okay, and she's fine. Now, I used to do that for 20 minutes, a half hour. No, that's too long. Short, mute, short, mute. I love you, Mom. Bye. And she's so cool. Her personality is so cool that she doesn't even get that I'm ignoring her, which is a gift from the universe. Listen,
sure
they had the Academy Awards last week. I could win a few, okay? Get it? I could win a few paying attention and not paying attention to somebody. Thank you.
Absolutely. Well, great. Well, and those are some strategies for people out there who are dealing with, those in their lives who are unhappy. Obviously, someone needs to tailor that to themselves in the particular situation.
Yes, so, exactly.
Well, I'm going to go
are
ahead
you saying
and,
are you saying goodbye to me? Are you saying goodbye? I just got warmed up. No, I'm just kidding.
I know. I'm winding up because I want to kind of keep it to 45 minutes so those people who watch it, or want to download it, makes it a manageable file for them. Lord knows we can do this again. And we do this on your show. Often we and then I love the banter on your show. So why don't we take a minute and let the people who are watching right now how they can get a hold of you in your show.
Okay, good. My my website is RebeccaNorrington.com. That's RebeccaNorrington. My radio show is on Blog Talk Radio every Sunday at 7 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. It's called Reality Spirituality Show, or you can just search Rebecca Norrington or Reality Spirituality. You can follow me on Twitter at RL Norrington, and my Facebook is Reality Spirituality. I really appreciate you, Robert. Thank you so much for letting me blabbity blab blab on your blab show and giving me an opportunity of sharing. And I want to make a really quick comment that Al Canistraro, I might not be pronouncing. He said that's a huge challenge. And let me say something. Yes, this is a challenge. But see, it's a skill. It's new skills that you develop. People that play Carnegie Hall, they didn't just wake up and play Carnegie Hall. We're talking about football players. Professional football players, you have to practice. You want to be an actor, you have to practice. A doctor, a surgeon, you have to practice. So this being happy is a new skill that you practice, and it is a challenge and it is a commitment, but it's up to you to choose it. And I'm telling you that you will get the rewards are heaven on earth. That is the reward. Self-mastery, challenges. Do it! Thank you. Have a nice day.
Great. And to let everybody know also, I have the Bringing Inspiration to Earth show on Blog Talk Radio, and you can find out the calendar www.biteradio.me. And shows are usually Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 4 to 5 p.m. Eastern. Oh, was that something else?
No, one more thing. And I'm going to be doing my blab shows too. I love this blab. I love to be able to see myself. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. See myself and just speak. So, and I love to have the live action on blab. So I have my own blab channel, but I haven't scheduled anything yet, but that's coming up. Thank you.
Great. Yeah. So people out there follow both of us and you'll get some really entertaining conversations. So thanks a lot, Rebecca. I will be seeing you on the radio. All right. Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Okay.